Good morning. Today, with the ringing of our peace bowl, we affirm our collective hope for peace in the world and at home. We acknowledge that these lands that we love are the unceded, ancestral, and historical lands of the Yavapai people. Good morning and welcome to everyone here and everyone on Zoom. Where are the Zoom people? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, good morning on Zoom. It's wonderful to see so many familiar faces and some new faces, I hope. Welcome to Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation in Prescott, Arizona. To those visiting for the first time, I hope that you will join us for coffee. Right across the vestibule in the back, there's another room called Davis Hall, and we gather for coffee each week, chit-chat, goodies, and it's a great way to meet each other and get to know each other better. I am Rhea Batterman, she, her, your worship associate today, and I am honored to share the podium today with Rabbi Nina, over there, Nina Perlmutter, and you'll be hearing from her in just a little bit. She will be talking about celebrating fall Jewishly, specifically Sukkot. And Sukkot is the last of the Jewish holidays which ends the autumn harvest. Celebrating this holiday is really very near to my heart, as I grew up in a traditional Jewish home, and I used to go meet my grandpa Jacob after synagogue. We called it shul back in those days. And especially after a holiday, I would meet him, and I remember we had our own sukkah on our block, and Nina will tell you more about what a sukkah is. And we used to go there, and I used to play, and that was pretty much a highlight for me, being with my grandpa. And now we'll hear some gathering music from Lena Hubin playing Prelude Opus 28, number 20, by Chopin. No, wrong. Oh, okay, with Schumacher.
Welcome, shalom, salam, bienvenido. Any other languages you can share for welcome. I'm Rabbi Nina Perlmutter. I'm a longtime Prescott resident and friend of this community. I'm very happy to be here. It's the first time I've been here in this new space, so mazel tov for that. It's always good for me to be here. I knew many of the folks in this community for a long, long time before I ran off and became a rabbi in my old age. I taught philosophy and religious studies at Yavapai. I was very close to the Lovejoys and to Tom Pettit and the Davises, etc. And any of you know Ray Manker? Did any of you know Ray Manker? Okay. Ray Manker married my husband and I mean, we got married, he officiated in the early 90s. And he learned Hebrew and did a much Jewish service. Anyway, it's a beautiful season to be here and welcoming the rain, and I'm wishing you a happy fall. I looked up, and there's like 20 other official days in November, but I'm here to talk about fall and harvest. So I invite you to think, before we get into things, of what you might learn from the changing of the seasons in general and fall in particular. We'll talk more in a minute.
Oops. We begin our service in the Unitarian Universalist tradition of lighting a chalice. Our chalice lighter this morning is Tracy Lovejoy. I love saying that. And the title is called Different Yet United, and it's by Pat Urab Lichty. We come from many places along different paths, bringing different truths. We come from different histories and different realities, and yet we come together as one people with faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to a fractured world. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are. In this place, we may find others that are very much like us, and others who are also very different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories, with many voices, but always one people working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace. Thank you, Tracy. Now please stand if you're able and open your gray hymnal. I think the words should be on the screens. Number 277, When We Wend Homeward. exercise. Now please join me in saying our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant together. This morning, as we prepare to receive the offering, let us embrace the feeling of connection and community that we have when we gather here each week. Let us remember that this congregation and its programs are supported by your generosity. We also give back to the greater community through our seeds of support. This month, it's CCJ, the Coalition for Compassion and Justice. You could read all about that in the order of service. Each Sunday, the plates that we collect, half of the offering goes to the designated designated recipient, and half of it goes back to us. So dig deep, please. If you'd like to contribute online, you can do so by visiting our website, prescottuu.org, and the ushers will now begin collecting. Thank you. We acknowledge your generosity of the Spirit expressed through this offering. What is given in love is received in gratitude. Amen, and blessed be. Oops. We have no room. Beloved community is the heart of Granite Peak UU congregation. As we experience the time of meditation and music, we take a few moments to silently acknowledge the joys and concerns we have in our hearts and our minds. If there is an event that moves you to a joy or concern, hope or gratitude, grief or remembrance, you are invited to come forward drop a stone or two in the waters as an affirmation of our connection to each other. I will drop the first stones for those lives lost and with hope and prayers for peace in our world. Thank you. May our joys and concerns, surrounded by the healing communal water of a beloved community, be acknowledged here today. So may it be. Now let's all sing Spirit of Life. Now, if you're able to stand, please do, and we will sing. What will we sing? Oh, the choir will sing. Oh, never mind. I'm a little mixed up. Okay. Okay. The Granite Peak Singers, which I'm part of. Holy Ground. And now let's hear from Rabbi Nina Perlmutter and her message to us.
Thank you, Ria, and thank you, Lena, and choir. Whenever I hear that song, I tear up. And so I spoke to Lena about this. I want to tell you that if you're interested in having the words to Craig Taubman's song, Lena can send them to you, or I can send them to you. And if you want to cry more often, you can see, you can go to YouTube and put on Holy Ground, Craig Taubman, and you'll sing it. Okay, so let me share what I hope to do. I want to give you a sense of a few thousand years of history of the special holiday, and I was told I had about 20 minutes, so we can talk later if you care. Has anyone other than Ria ever heard of Sukkot? Okay. One question I was asked is, what's the difference between Sukkot and Sukkah? Okay, and that's an easy question. Sukkot is the plural word for sukkah. So Sukkot means many sukkahs. So, of course, the question is, what's a sukkah? And I'll be showing a few slides. This is the festival of booths. The word sukkah, and a few of them are Sukkot, means the festival of booths. And they're temporary, very fragile, handmade structures that were given in the Hebrew Bible long ago for the holiday that we came through in October this year. And there are special booths that we definitely eat in, and depending on whether sleep in, and invite guests in, etc. In New York City, you can see them on fire escapes and apartment roofs and alleys and stuff like that. It's a great fall harvest, and the exact date changes every year because the Hebrew calendar is a little different than the Gregorian calendar, but it always comes on the full moon, right? The full moon in autumn, and it comes on the period following the most sort of sobering holidays that we call the high holidays. You probably heard of Rosh Hashanah or Yom Kippur, and those are serious holidays where we're reflecting Teshuvah. Teshuvah means return to our deepest core, return to community, return to our sense of what I'll call the divine mystery, right? It entails asking for forgiveness, owning up to things that we could do better at, walking and asking for forgiveness, trying to give forgiveness, etc. And that whole period ends with a holiday of Sukkot, which means it's time to celebrate and be joyful and rejoice. And we do that by hanging out in fragile huts. And since biblical times, some of the details have changed, but for the most part, what the rabbis did is they said, all right, let's take something that we're told to do, a holiday, and let's match it with a natural cycle, all right? So Sukkot comes at the full moon in the fall, right? And it's connected with the natural fall harvest, right? And they decided to assign things to the natural cycle and the Jewish collective history cycle, and then some personal spiritual things. So for example, you probably heard of Passover, right? And Passover in the Hebrew Bible isn't on, April 20th or something like that. They said, we'll make Passover for spring, right? And we're going into new happy times, the springtime. And they said, all right, we'll take Sukkot and we'll turn it into the fall harvest. That's a time to harvest not only the fall harvest agriculturally, but the spiritual harvest of having come through our high holidays. So maybe we'll start with some slides. And this is the first one. It's a Torah tree. Jewish teachings work like that. The bottom is the Hebrew Bible. And so that's the basis. And for Sukkot in Exodus, it says, you shall have a feast of ingathering when you gather together the results of your work in the fields. Okay? And it says in Leviticus, you shall live in booths for 7 days. All of Israel, the Jewish people, shall live in booths in order that future generations may remember the people's history. The story is that when the Jews got out of Egypt, for 40 years they were living outside in fragile booths. All right, so we have the natural cycle, the collective history, and then the personal spiritual history. You shall hold a festival after the high holidays, and you shall have nothing but joy. All right? And so we have the basic teachings, the Hebrew Bible, and different teachings over time. When a kid has a bar bat mitzvah, they add a leaf to this tree by explaining what the teachings mean to them. Okay, so what do we do? Next slide. We build a temporary outdoors sukkah. Okay, and notice this one is from our old house in Chino. We just moved to Prescott. Sukkot is their general rules. It must be outside. You have 3 walls. You decorate it with all sorts of things. We always had friends bring kids, and they would make, special fall-like artwork, and you hang it. And one of those pictures that are on the back that was made by a kid when she was 8, she just graduated college. All right? So you build a temporary place with 3 walls. You definitely eat there. If you can, you sleep there. You must have guests. So next slide. Any of you knew Esther Bash? Okay, some of you knew her. Yeah, she was a survivor from Auschwitz. She lived in Prescott. She had never been inside a real sukkah until she came to our sukkah. And I want you to notice, you can see some of the artwork. You can see she's holding something special that I'll talk about a little later, special natural things. Okay. And everything is significant. And we'll talk about the significance of what's called a lulav and an etrog in a minute. Next slide. That's me in Prescott. Notice the roof. A sukkah must not be all closed. You must be able to see the stars. You must be able to feel the rain come through. A sukkah must be fragile. A sukkah must be temporary. Next picture. These are some of the, I reversed my order. I'll just give you a sense of this. You take the natural cycle things here, and it looks a little rotty because part of Sukkot is to remember all things rot, right? And decompose. There's a number of natural things taken. You have a palm. That's supposed to remind me of how am I standing in the world. You have a willow, and the willow is to remind me it has like a big leaf. How am I speaking in the world? Okay. And you have the myrtle, which is sort of like an eye. How am I looking out at the world? And you have an etrog, which is related to lemons, like a citrus kind of thing. And that's my heart. And many people have said this is sort of masculine and this is sort of feminine, whatever. You can do a lot of things. You hold these two things together. And there's a special ritual. And if we had time, I'd say stand up, but just think of it. You hold these two things together, 4 special species from the land of Israel from thousands of years. And there's a ritual where you turn in the 6 Jewish directions. So I don't know, where is east from here? East. And you shake it, and you give thanks for gifts from the east. What might we be grateful to from the east? The sunrise, right? Every day, etc. East. And west, give thanks. Sunsets, the Pacific Ocean. South, solar energy, Mexican friends, whatever. North, we once had a kid in our sukkah, and I said, what are you grateful for from the north? He said, Santa Claus. Those are 4 directions. What are we grateful for that comes from the earth? All that grows and roots, right? And holds us up when we walk. And then all around us, above the sky, we say the Shekinah, the clouds, the rain, and the great mysterious source which gives us all these gifts, however you understand that. This was already rotting away, so this is a new willow, but we often give to kids. Kids will have their own little version, and they'll throw them at each other or whatever. But gratitude, a major thing. Sukkot is about gratitude for the fall harvest and for our people enduring and community. Sukkot is about happiness. Sukkot is about humility. And the building of the sukkah is humbling. Humans cannot take all credit for what they grow or what they build. So that's a big consciousness here. And Sukkot is also about remembering the homeless. You must invite folks in, and, brotherhood, etc. And every Saturday in a Shabbat service, we actually say, it actually comes from Psalms, build a sukkah of peace over all people, things like that. Next slide. You eat special things, and I brought samples. You can eat them later if you want. The collective memory of the ancient tradition, and they're all made into symbols. Or Ria, you can eat for people if you'd like. There's special wheat, etc. Wheat, sustenance. We all appreciate sustenance and the staple grain of the people. And barley here. Barley is often associated with animal food, and we're grateful for animals and the beginning of the harvest. And grapes, wine or juice, right? Meaning for joy. Figs. Figs symbolize in Jewish tradition prosperity and health, things like that. And pomegranates, there are a lot of seeds in here. So the idea of fertility and all that can grow. And from one seed, you gain many. From one act of kindness, you gain a kinder world, things like that. And dates also, sweetness and palm trees. Next slide. This was our sukkah up when we lived in Groom Creek. Can you see the coyote? The coyote came to visit, and it's the time to be in touch with nature and to be in touch with animals, and to be grateful that we are not alone. We're not the only animal in the world. In short, we get different lessons from being outside. The fragility of life. Let's see the next slide. Our sukkah in Chino Valley was picked up and blown over by a big wind a few years ago. And when we walked out, it was, oh my gosh. But then it was, oh my. That's the point of it all. The fragility of life, the temporariness, to appreciate what is there and to adapt to change. In short, and I'm running out of time here, I want to invite you to think about what lessons you can get from all that we see outside and around. Last slide, I think the last slide. This is my husband, Tom, right there. You dance and you sing in the sukkah with company, where you do rituals, you have joy. Celebrating fall Jewishly means get outside, seek lessons for our lives, connect with agriculture. No matter how good a gardener you are, you didn't do it alone. You needed rain, you needed seeds, you needed what I'd call a divine mystery, etc. Joyfulness, no matter how lousy the news is, there's reasons to be joyful. We're in community with animals. We can be humble. Watch the sky and the stars. I'd say find some symbols and rituals that work for you. And I hereby invite you next year to our sukkah. Thank you. Happy fall.
Okie dokie. Wait, I have to get myself situated. Okay, I am going to read something that Rabbi Nina asked to be read, and it's called The Heart of Sukkah. Let the walls of my heart be easily moved, as the walls of the sukkah that sway in the wind. Let the roof of my heart be porous to tears, as the roof of the sukkah that lets in the rain. Let the space in my heart be open to guests, as to Ushpizen? Ushpizen? I'm not familiar with that. Who passes through each night. Let the beat of my heart be a vital reminder that life is here transient. a temporary dwelling. Let the walls left unsealed and the roof with its lattice frame and cracks that will let in the light. Now we will all sing a closing song to the tune, If I Had a Hammer, and it should be in your thingy-doos. Your thingy-doos. Okay. Where is it? No.
Find it?
No. I don't know what you did with it. All over this world. Well, that was fun. I do believe it is time to extinguish our chalice. I'm busy here. Please read with me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Need a few more words. We made a mess.
May we each, and may we all together, remind ourselves to stay more in touch with the natural world around us, to keep learning and practicing from our natural models. May we look out at the world and speak and act and hear and walk from our highest ethical, communal, spiritual place. May we teach the next generation our values and to appreciate life so that we walk together through challenging times. May we open our hearts and the doors of our homes always. Shalom, salam, Pas, Hewa.